What if I told you there are plants you can put in the ground just once and they will come back every single year, producing food without you ever replanting them? No tilling, no seed packets, no starting over from scratch each spring. These are the forgotten backbone of the homestead, the perennial food producers that your great-grandparents relied on and that most modern gardeners have completely abandoned. Today, I'm sharing the 10 most productive, most resilient, and most overlooked perennial shrubs and vines on the planet. And trust me, number 6 is going to stop you cold.
Most people walk right past elderberry without a second glance. That is one of the biggest mistakes a homesteader can make. This fast-growing shrub is essentially a two-in-one survival system, producing massive clusters of deep purple berries loaded with antioxidants and immune-boosting compounds, while also offering flat white flower heads in late spring that can be turned into syrups, fritters, and cordials. A fully established elderberry can push out 12 to 15 pounds of berries per cluster per season, with multiple clusters per plant. In a good year, a mature shrub can yield 25 to 30 pounds of fruit with almost zero intervention. They laugh at poor drainage, damp soil, and neglect. They grow 8 to 10 feet tall in a single season and begin producing within just 2 to 3 years. Plant 2 varieties for better pollination, and you have a self-renewing pharmacy and pantry growing side by side. This is not a berry bush. It is a biological investment.
2. Gooseberry, the forgotten powerhouse of the cold north. If you live in a climate where brutal winters wipe out more delicate fruit, the gooseberry was practically engineered for you. These compact, spiny shrubs thrive in conditions that would destroy most commercial crops, producing translucent, jewel-like berries that pack a serious nutritional punch. A mature gooseberry bush can produce 8 to 10 pounds of fruit annually, and unlike soft summer berries, these hold on the bush long enough to actually harvest without a frantic race against rot. Their vitamin C content rivals citrus. Before refrigeration, Northern European households used preserved gooseberries as their primary source of this critical vitamin all winter long. They tolerate heavy clay, partial shade, and temperatures down to -40 degrees. Once established, expect 20 to 30 years of reliable harvests with nothing more than an occasional pruning. Forget the fuzzy brown kiwis at the grocery store. The hardy kiwi is a completely different species, built for temperate climates, producing grape-sized, smooth-skinned fruits that are sweet, edible whole, and intensely flavorful. A single mature vine can produce 50 to 100 pounds of fruit per season, and these vines are essentially unstoppable once established. They tolerate temperatures as low as -25 degrees Fahrenheit, scramble over fences, pergolas, and walls with almost no guidance, and can live for 50 years or more. The catch is patience. They can take 5 to 7 years to begin fruiting, and you need both a male and a female plant for production. But once they hit their stride, the harvest is almost overwhelming. This is the kind of plant that neighbors start asking about once they see the sheer volume dripping off your fence every September. Aronia, also called chokeberry, is one of the most nutrient-dense fruits ever tested by food scientists, with antioxidant levels that outrank blueberries, pomegranates, and acai. The flavor is intensely astringent, raw, but dried, juiced, or made into jam, it transforms into something extraordinary. A mature aronia shrub produces 15 to 20 pounds of berries per year with basically zero care required. No pest pressure, no disease issues, no special soil demands. These shrubs will grow in standing water or dry hillsides with equal indifference. They live for 40 to 50 years and begin producing in as little as 2 to 3 years. In Eastern Europe, aronia has been used medicinally and culinarily for centuries. The rest of the world is just now catching up to what those communities already knew. This one is controversial because it grows so aggressively that it is considered invasive in parts of North America. But in a managed homestead setting, that aggressive growth is precisely the point. Autumn olive produces small, speckled red berries in enormous quantities, sometimes hundreds of pounds per mature shrub, and the flavor is a surprising sweet-tart combination that many people genuinely enjoy fresh. But the real value is invisible. This shrub fixes atmospheric nitrogen directly into your soil, essentially acting as a living fertilizer factory for everything planted near it. It improves the ground beneath your food forest while simultaneously producing a calorie-dense fruit crop. Plant it as a strategic edge species and manage it deliberately. When used correctly, it is one of the most productive plants per square foot in any temperate food system.
Here is the one that changes how you think about perennial growing. Most people assume passion flower is a purely ornamental tropical plant. It is not. The hardy varieties of passion flower, specifically Passiflora incarnata, will survive winters down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, die back to the root, and come surging back every single spring with extraordinary vigor. And it produces fruit, real, edible, richly flavored passion fruit the size of a hen's egg, with a complex, sweet, tart pulp packed with magnesium, potassium, and vitamin A. A well-established vine can cover a full fence line and produce 30 to 40 pounds of fruit annually. Beyond the food, the leaves are a powerful nervine, historically used to treat anxiety and insomnia. You are essentially planting a fruit vine and a medicinal herb simultaneously. The fact that this plant exists and most gardeners have never grown it is one of the great undersold secrets of the perennial food world. Black, red, and white currants are 3 distinct flavor profiles on nearly identical shrubs, and every single one is a perennial production machine. Black currants alone contain 4 times the vitamin C of oranges by weight. A mature currant bush puts out 6 to 10 pounds of fruit per year, which sounds modest until you realize these shrubs take up almost no space, tolerate significant shade, and will keep producing reliably for 15 to 20 years. They are ideal for planting under the canopy edge of larger trees, turning otherwise wasted ground into productive growing space. In Scandinavia and Russia, currant juice is still a household staple, and home preserves are considered a serious point of pride. Plant 3 or 4 varieties, and you extend your harvest window from early summer all the way into late August. If you want a shrub that seems almost too good to be true, meet sea buckthorn. Its brilliant orange berries are among the most nutritionally complete foods on Earth, containing vitamin C, E, K, B12, and a full omega fatty acid profile, including the extremely rare omega-7. A mature shrub produces 15 to 25 pounds of berries annually, and because the fruit clings tightly to the branch, a single vigorous shake over a tarp can bring in a full harvest in minutes. Sea buckthorn fixes nitrogen, stabilizes eroding slopes, provides wildlife habitat, and produces a fruit that sells for extraordinary prices at health food stores. It tolerates drought, salt spray, and extreme cold down to -40 degrees. The thorns are serious enough to deter any animal pressure. This is a fortress shrub that feeds your family while defending itself. Honeyberry, also known as haskap, holds a unique position in the perennial food calendar. It is the very first fruit to ripen in spring, sometimes as early as late April in temperate zones, arriving weeks before strawberries and a full 2 months before most other berries. After a long winter of stored food, that first fresh harvest is not just a luxury, it is a morale event. Honeyberries are elongated, blueberry-like fruits with a flavor somewhere between blueberry, raspberry, and blackcurrant. A mature bush produces 5 to 10 pounds of fruit and is extraordinarily cold-hardy, with flower buds that can survive temperatures of 20 degrees below zero. They live for 30 to 40 years, require very little maintenance once established, and improve with age. Plant early ripening and mid-season varieties together for a longer harvest window and significantly better yields.
Grapevines are perhaps the oldest cultivated food plant on Earth, and there is a reason civilizations have centered themselves around them for 10,000 years. A well-established grapevine can produce 15 to 25 pounds of fruit per year, provides dense summer shade over a pergola or trellis, and, with proper variety selection, can thrive in nearly every climate on the planet. The survival value of grapes goes far beyond fresh eating. Dried into raisins, they last for over a year without refrigeration. Fermented into wine or grape juice, the shelf life extends almost indefinitely. The leaves themselves are edible and used across Mediterranean cooking traditions. A grapevine planted today can still be producing food for your great-grandchildren 100 years from now. These are not just plants, they are living infrastructure that deepens in value with every passing decade. Every single one of these plants shares one defining characteristic. You put them in the ground once, and they keep working for you year after year, decade after decade, without demanding you start over from scratch each spring. This is how traditional communities built food security that lasted for generations, not by planting annual crops in endless cycles, but by establishing perennial systems that compounded in value over time. You do not need a farm. You do not need an orchard. A backyard, a fence line, a sunny slope is enough. Start with 1 or 2 plants this season. Build from there. Which of these perennial producers are you adding to your homestead first? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this gave you a new perspective on what a productive garden can actually look like, hit that like button and subscribe. There is a lot more where this came from.